Now, I'm going to be real honest with you, America. Now that I've drawn you into my spider web, and I have you all wrapped up, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this show tonight. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. We have a situation in America right now where left and right, it doesn't matter. Tensions are growing. And it's not just America. They're growing in Greece, and they're growing in Europe, they're growing in Spain, they're growing in England. I have good friends in China. It's growing in China as well. This is a global, it's almost like the river of slime, if I may. I know we've got, you know, Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Gandhi, and Moses here, but let me go to Dan Aykroyd. The river of slime in Ghostbusters 2. It's almost like that, and the hate is growing. And if you are looking for a lasting revolution, violence is never the answer. Hatred. And I have to tell you, to be real honest with you, in the last year I have had to fight back real anger and what would have grown into hatred. And it's tough to do unless you're on your knees an awful lot. But that is what we need to do. So I don't care if you're left or right, it doesn't matter. I don't care where you're watching in the world. Hatred is growing. And I brought these four people together because they all know the history of the four great revolutions in mankind. Moses, Jesus, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. Our panel is Dr. Alveda King, niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rabbi Daniel Lapin, founder of the American Alliance of Jews and Christians, Dr. Robert Franklin, president of Morehouse College in Atlanta, and via satellite is the author of Gandhi, the Man, His People, and the Empire, Professor Rajmohan Gandhi. He is one of Gandhi's grandchildren. Okay, so let's just start here. Nonviolence. Even with Moses, it wasn't really, God was violent, but I mean, I don't see anybody left or right that's going to release locusts. So the importance of nonviolence and peace in all of these.
Well, I think the launching point perhaps is the dentist experience. It's a very important principle where you've got a minor little niggling, naggling toothache, and you finally drag yourself into the dentist. You're in the chair no more than 10 minutes that you deeply regret ever having cut it. You just wish you'd lived with what it was, because now all of a sudden it's drilling and injections and pain and root canals and who knows what else. And in other words, the initial impact of trying to bring about a repair is actually more pain to begin with. And that is the lesson that comes out of the book of Exodus. That Moses is a reluctant leader. As you pointed out as we were chatting earlier, you know, God says, go back to Pharaoh, and this is what you must say to him. He says, listen, I'm really not the guy. You're going. I've told you, you're the man. And so he has to go back, and he goes to speak to Pharaoh, just as he was told to do, and the very next thing that happens is Pharaoh issues new edicts. Now you people have to produce the same output. We're going to give you less to work with. And everybody turns on Moses and says, you know, we should have left us alone. It wasn't that bad till you started up with this freedom business.
It's really the same, it's the same story over and over and over again. Somebody takes up their cross, and it gets worse. It's, you know, my favorite phrase is from one of the presidents. I can't remember which one it was. The truth shall set you free, but it's going to make you miserable first. Right?
Yes. Well, Jesus teaches, you know, those who live by the sword will die by the sword. So the question is, how do you break this vicious cycle of retaliation? And the two incredible moments in the Gospels for me, one, Jesus at the trial, and Pilate, and he's, you know, the accusations are made, and he keeps his peace. He doesn't seek even to defend himself. And he sort of, in that moment, turns the other cheek.
He actually heals one of the soldiers that comes and gets him and stops.
That's right. Right. His Peter, his disciple, cuts off the ear once they arrest him.
And he heals.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So so us being healers and us being peaceful is important. But now let's see, because Jesus and Moses are still kind of hard to relate to, because, I mean, you know, it's Moses. and the burning bush and the pillar of fire and everything else. And Jesus is Jesus. So let's go. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go to Gandhi and Martin Luther King.